too much, man, and they keep pushing people, you know?
Oh shit! What the fuck? They killed him? Did they fucking kill that guy? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Not again! Are you fucking kidding me? That guy's dead. Yo, we need people on site.
And we have just learned the identity of the 37-year-old man who was killed in Minneapolis today. According to sources familiar with the investigation, his name is Alex Jeffrey Preddy. The Minnesota Star-Tribune reporting that he lived on Garfield Avenue in South Minneapolis. This was about a mile and a half southwest of where he was killed. Before he was identified, the Minneapolis police chief said at a press conference earlier today that Preddy's criminal record only showed some parking tickets. The chief adding Preddy was a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry a firearm in public. His parents say he was an ICU nurse. The Minnesota Star-Tribune reports that Preddy attended the University of Minnesota. His LinkedIn page stating he was a junior scientist at the University of Minnesota Medical School starting in 2012. And state records show Preddy was issued a license in 2021 to be a registered nurse, and it remained active through March 2026.
This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
You just made claims that the individual posed a threat to law enforcement. I guess
that is no claim. It is the facts. The facts of the situation. This individual showed up to a law enforcement operation with a weapon and dozens of rounds of ammunition. He wasn't there to peacefully protest. He was there to perpetuate violence, and he was asked to show up and to continue to resist by a governor who's irresponsible and has a long history of corruption and lying.
The White House has labeled the man who was killed in Minnesota as a domestic terrorist. Is that something you agree with, and have you seen any evidence to back up that claim?
When you perpetuate violence against a government because of ideological reasons and for reasons to resist and perpetuate violence, that is the definition of domestic terrorism. This individual who came with weapons and ammunition to stop a law enforcement operation of federal law enforcement officers committed an act of domestic terrorism. That's the facts. We are focused specifically on child pedophiles and sexual assault and trafficking rings in Minneapolis, have brought dozens and dozens of them to justice. Why is he protecting them and refusing to work with us? This individual impeded the law enforcement officers and attacked them. State the facts as they unfolded on the street today. We were doing a targeted operation against an illegal criminal, and this individual came with a weapon and dozens of rounds of ammunition and attacked them. And these agents took action to defend their lives and to defend the lives of the people around them and acted according to their training. And we will continue to let this process go forward and not allow people like Governor Walz and Mayor Frey to lie about what actually unfolded on that street. It appears that they want this lawlessness to continue. It appears that they want chaos to distract from the theft and the fraud and the corruption of their city.
Is the president closer to invoking the Insurrection Act?
The president will use every tool that he needs to follow through on his promises to the American people. I'm proud to work for a president that wants to keep people safe, and he recognizes that political individuals like Governor Walz and Mayor Frey need to be met head on with recognizing that we're not going to allow them to distract us from what they facilitated for corruption in their state. We're going to treat Minneapolis exactly the way that we have treated every other city across this country.
ICE has just executed a white man in Minneapolis. His name was Alex Preddy. He was 37 years old, and after they beat him down in broad daylight, they executed him. He was an American citizen, he was innocent, and he was protecting the women there. There is usually a lot of cuts and heavy editing in my videos, but I think this one deserves a more raw and human approach. I really don't see a future to where this current situation is solved with diplomacy and peaceful protests. We either have to start hunting these animals down or take care of them as soon as they walk into our neighborhoods, or leave the damn country. There is no waiting for Congress to do anything. There's no waiting for your governor to do anything. And there's no waiting for your mayor to do anything. Am I fear-mongering? Yes! I want you guys to feel the same amount of fear as my grandmother felt when bombs were hitting the jungles of Vietnam. They are now murdering the safest demographic of this country in broad motherfucking daylight. The time to fear is now. And within that fear rise anger. Use that anger to protect your family, your children, your neighbors, your relatives. Before I end the video, I just want to touch on something that I haven't seen a lot of people touch on. Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, Theo Vaughn. If we ever make it out of this, we cannot allow these animals to go back to society touching vegetables and shit like nothing ever happened. Put them in the same pen as we're gonna put MAGA. These so-called free thinkers and moderates are the same kind of bad MAGA is. And they are a huge contributor to whatever it is that is happening right now. Now, with that being said, I just want to make my message clear here in this video. There is no abolishing ICE. There is no reforming ICE. There is no defunding ICE. Put them in fucking cages and give them the witch trials treatment.
At this point, you bitches are evil. Like, actually clinically unwell in the head. And the scariest part about all of this is you're not even subtle about it. Because what happened in Minneapolis this weekend is beyond fucking disturbing. To put it plainly, ICE agents publicly executed a man in broad daylight. And if hearing that didn't send shivers down your spine, let me try relaying this information to you in a different way. ICE agents publicly executed a man! And have there been any repercussions thus far? You guessed it, no. Hi everyone, if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, you know what fucking time it is, bitch. It's time for the Daily Scream! A 37-year-old man named Alex Preddy, who was a U.S. citizen with no criminal record, an ICU nurse, took care of veterans, cared for and loved people, was in Minneapolis at a protest recording ICE agents on his phone. That was all it took. The agents proceeded to shove him, pepper spray him, then drag him into the street, and while he was pinned down on the ground, surrounded by ICE agents being repeatedly hit with a pepper spray canister, an ICE agent removed a firearm from Preddy's waistband. Then, those same ICE agents shot him, not once, not twice, but 10 times in under 5 seconds. They had him surrounded, pinned down to the ground, and had already removed his legal firearm. This is a diagram of what that scene looked like. That's not defense. That's a fucking firing squad on a helpless man. But then our government gets on TV and they're like, he arrived to massacre law enforcement. Bitch, where? Because the videos show him doing exactly one thing, and that's him existing with his phone, helping other protesters. Video evidence shows a step-by-step of the entire encounter between Preddy and the ICE agents. They literally had him detained and surrounded, and now he's dead because a group of ICE agents decided to empty their clips into him. And let's be real, you don't just miraculously wake up one day and become a person who's capable of unloading all of your ammunition into a man who's already pinned down on the ground. That requires moral rot. That requires you to be fucking evil, to want power, to feel powerful in that fuck-ass uniform. But they want us to trust them? Yeah, no. You ICE agents are fucking dangerous. Not because you executed a man, but because it's become increasingly evident that you would much rather kill someone first and then explain later. We see you. We all saw what happened. And you're not fooling anybody. You are evil.
Alex Purdy was a 37-year-old man who worked as an ICU nurse at the Veterans Hospital in Minneapolis. He went to the protest that morning filming what ICE was doing. So he was filming 2 women getting beat up by ICE. So he couldn't take it anymore. So he stopped filming and he went over there to protect one of the women. So Alex and one of the women got pepper sprayed and they threw Alex to the ground and 6 ICE agents were wrestling with him because they thought he had a gun, but it was his cell phone, not a gun. And so that's when one of the ICE agents shot him 10 times. And he perished right there on the spot. I think before he even hit the ground, he was shot so many times. And then, as you guys see, Christy Nome was trying to make it seem like he was the villain, he was a bad person, he was coming there to hurt ICE, but he wasn't. He was just there to protect a woman. And so now the parents, they speak out and say that Alex wouldn't hurt anybody. He was very friendly. ICE went too far. This shooting was unnecessary. And I think it was. I think it was very unnecessary for ICE just to shoot him like that when he didn't really have a gun. It's like these guys get off killing people, but hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head.
Locals are saying that he died protecting others, and after they shot him multiple times, point blank range, they clapped and celebrated. The victim was identified as 37-year-old Alex Jeffrey Priddy, and when people tried to help him, witnesses say that they blocked them from doing so. Alex was a registered ICU nurse at the VA who cared for critically ill veterans, and his family described him as the most loving person they've ever known. They said he was an athlete, an outdoorsman, a brother, and a son. They said today he was acting as a legal observer, filming ICE agents in Minneapolis in an attempt to protect other protesters when he was finally approached by the agents. It was then that they said he was pinned down and beaten by multiple agents before being shot multiple times. The DHS then said that the agents fired defensive shots after a man with a handgun approached them and violently resisted when the officers tried to disarm him, and they're even calling him an attempted mass shooter. But locals are saying that he didn't have a weapon at all, and the only people fighting were the agents. This is all still developing, but rest in peace to Alex. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as any new information comes out, I'll keep you guys updated.
Okay, I got some updates on the shooting of Alex Priddy earlier today in Minneapolis. You've definitely heard about this by now. You've definitely seen the videos by now, but just to recap, he is a man that was executed in broad daylight by ICE after trying to help up a woman that was pepper sprayed. The official narrative from the government is that because he had a concealed carry weapon underneath his jacket, that he was somehow a domestic terrorist in some form. However, he did have a legal right to concealed carry in the state of Minnesota, and he never reached for his weapon during the encounter. In fact, before he was actually fired on, a ICE agent took his weapon away. So he was disarmed at the time that he was fired on in the back. He was hit several times in the back by the first initial agent, and then another agent drew his weapon as well and fired at his lifeless body while it was on the ground. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not really a Second Amendment person. I just don't like guns very much, but this is definitely a crime against the Second Amendment if I've ever seen one in my whole entire life. A federal secret operative took this man's gun away and fired on him as soon as he didn't have it. Alex Priddy did not approach the ICE agents. The ICE agents approached him. He only resisted when he saw a woman getting hurt. Greg Bavino, who was one of the main leaders of ICE, immediately said before there was any investigation that this man was a domestic terrorist. In reality, he is an ICU nurse that specifically specialized in helping combat veterans. The photo behind me is a screenshot for when he was eulogizing someone that passed away that was part of our armed services. He was a patriot. And I'm not going to lie, making these videos all the time, I'm starting to lose faith. But I do think that this is waking some people up. This man is not a terrorist. This man did not approach. This man was not in a vehicle. This man did not take out his weapon while he saw someone attacking a defenseless woman. To close off this video, I am just going to read a statement from Alex Priddy's family. We are heartbroken, but also very angry. Alex was a kind-hearted soul who cared deeply for his family and friends, and also the American veterans whom he cared for as an ICU nurse at Minneapolis VA Hospital. Alex wanted to make a difference in this world. Unfortunately, he will not be with us to see his impact. I do not throw around the term hero lightly. However, his last thought and act was to protect a woman. The sickening lies told about our son by the administration are reprehensible and disgusting. Alex is clearly not holding a gun when attacked by Trump's murdering and cowardly ICE thugs. He had his phone in his right hand, an empty left hand is raised his head while trying to protect the woman ICE just pushed down, all while being pepper sprayed. Please get the truth out about our son. He was a good man. Thank you. Alex Jeffrey Priddy is an American hero.